Shalom, shalom, shalom. Barakatah Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Peace and power to the Father of lights, Yahweh. Peace and blessings to the Son of the Kingdom, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the royal house of King David, and peace and blessings to the throne. All praises. Well, hope y'all ain't busy. I gotta break something down to y'all that's very important. It's very important, right? If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. All right. If you don't know where you come from, you don't know where you're going. Nobody really understands what Yahawashi's mission was in this world. You know, the won't he do it? They think they got it down. Dumbass Pharisees, I don't know how the fuck they think they got anything down, but they don't. They worse off than the won't he do it, to be honest with you. All right, but y'all are going to know exactly what time it is when it comes to Yahawashi and King David. There were two missions, all right? Two missions, okay? I'm going to start off dealing with Yahawashi, all right? Let me open up with a precept. This is Luke 22:35. And Yahawashi said, and he said unto them, he was talking to his disciples, when I sent you without purse and without scrip and shoes, lack ye anything? And they said, nothing. Then he said unto them, but now he that have a purse, let him take it, and likewise his scrip. And he that have no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. Right? For I say unto you, that this that is written must yet be accomplished in me. And he was reckoned among the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. All right? So, he's saying that what he was doing, it had an end to it. All right? What was he doing? Well, let's find out. All right? Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 7. Off top, verse 1. And it came to pass, when the king sat in his house, and the Lord had given him rest round about from all his enemies, that king said unto Nathan the prophet, see now, I dwell in a house of cedar, but the ark of power dwelleth within the curtains. And Nathan said to the king, go, do all that is in thy heart, for the Lord is with thee. And it came to pass that night that the word of the Lord came unto Nathan, saying, go and tell my servant David, thus saith the Lord, shall you build me a house for me to dwell in? Whereas I have not dwelt in any house since the time that I brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt, even to this day, but have walked in a tent and in a tabernacle, in all the places wherein I have walked with all the children of Israel. Spake I a word with any of the tribes of Israel, whom I commanded to feed my people Israel, saying, why did you not build me a house of cedar? Now therefore, so shall you say to my servant David, thus saith the Lord of hosts, I took thee from the sheepcote, from following the sheep, to be ruler over my people Israel. And I was with thee whithersoever thou wentest, and I have cut off all thy enemies out of thy sight, and have made thee a great name, like unto the name of the great men that are in the earth. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Neither shall the children of the wicked afflict them any more, as before time. This is a future promise and a future prophecy to David. And as since that time I commanded judges, no, Salak, and as since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies, also the Lord telleth thee that he will make thee a house. Verse 12. And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after you, which shall proceed out of your bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. He shall build a house for my name. He shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. Now, he's talking about Solomon here. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men, and with the stripes of the children of men. But my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it from Saul, whom I put away before thee. He took it away from Saul because Saul was a Benjamite. All right, just putting that out there. The scepter always belonged to Judah. That's rulership. No other tribe has been given rulership. Okay. Verse 16. And thy house and thy kingdom shall be established forever before thee. So he's telling him, all right, and thy house, telling David, your house, all right, and your kingdom shall be established forever before you. Before you. You got that? Your throne shall be established forever. Ever. He's saying that Yahawashi has to establish his kingdom first, and then yours comes after that. Right? Verse 17. According to all these words and according to all this vision, so did Nathan speak unto David. Now, this is David's prayer. Verse 18. Then went King David in and sat before the Lord and said, Who am I, O Lord power, and what is my house, that you have brought me hitherto? And this was yet a small thing in your sight, O Lord power, but you have spoken also of thy servant's house for a great while to come. And is this the manner of man, O Lord power? And what can David say more unto thee? For you, O Lord, knowest thy servant, for thy word's sake, and according to thy own heart have you done all these great things to make thy servant know them. Wherefore, thou art great, O Lord power, for there is none like thee, neither is there any power beside thee, according to all that we have heard with our ears. And what one nation in earth is like thy people, even like Israel, whom power went to redeem for a people to himself, and to make him a name, and to do for you great things and terrible for thy land, for thy people, which thou redeemest to thee from Egypt, from the nations of their gods. For thou hast confirmed to thyself thy people Israel to be a people unto thee forever. And thou, Lord, art become their power. And now, O Lord, power, the word that thou hast spoken concerning thy servant and concerning his house, establish it forever, and do as thou hast said. And let thy name be magnified forever, saying, The Lord of hosts is the power over Israel. And let the house of thy servant David be established before thee. For thou, O Lord of hosts, power of Israel, has revealed to thy servant, saying, I will build thee a house. Therefore have thy servant found in his heart to pray this prayer unto thee. And now, O Lord power, thou art that power, and thy words be true, and thou hast promised this goodness unto thy servant. Therefore now let it please thee to bless the house of thy servant, that it may continue forever before thee. For thou, O Lord power, hast spoken it, and with thy blessing let the house of thy servant be blessed forever. So what's going on here? Yahawashi had to build the foundation first. Did y'all know that? And what was the foundation? Well, let's go to Hebrews chapter 8. Hebrews chapter 8. We'll start at verse 1. All right. Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such a high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the heavens, a minister of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle which the Lord pitched and not man. For every high priest is ordained to offer gifts and sacrifices, wherefore it is of necessity that this man have somewhat also to offer. For if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law. What law is that? Moses. So he's saying if Yahawashi was on earth, he wouldn't be a priest. Okay? He said he wouldn't be a priest because seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law. Yahawashi not given the gift according to the law. Okay? Verse 5. Who serve unto example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of the power when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed to thee in the mount. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises. Verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand and led them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be my people. Verse 11. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. Verse 12. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. He, and that he saith a new covenant, he hath made the first old. Now that which decayeth waxeth old and is ready to vanish away. So, what is he saying here? That was given way back in 2 Samuel chapter 7. What did the Most High say? He said, if David's son strays away, he's going to what? He's going to chastise him with the rods of men. This is why Yahawashi had to come back. He had to come back. He had to save Israel, because Israel had been torn away from the kingdom. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11. Starting at verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, Ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love. So Solomon loved these women, and they were heathens. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. Now, this is exactly what the Most High told David. He said, if your son turns his heart away from me, I'm going to chastise him. All right? This is why you got to believe in regeneration. All right? Because this is what happened. When he died as Solomon, it was his fault that the kingdom split. We're going to get to that. So he had to come back and redeem Israel after it split, because when Solomon fell off, the whole kingdom fell off. Verse 4, for it came to pass when Solomon was old, that his wives turned his heart after other powers, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his power, as was the heart of David his father. David fucked up too, but his heart never strayed. Solomon did. For Solomon went after Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build a high place for Shamash, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives which burnt incense and sacrifice unto their powers. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord, power of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice. And he had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other powers, but he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and I will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I would not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. So he said, I'm not going to take it from you, Solomon, while you're alive, but when you die, I'm going to take it away from your son. Okay? Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son, for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. So he got rid of the northern kingdom, and he gave Judah to Solomon's son. That's Benjamin, Judah, and Levi. Right? Verse 14. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass, when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was gone up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom, for 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom. So Joab was the Benjamite general, all right, that was the leader at that time over the Israelite army. And he set up garrisons all throughout Edom, and was slaughtering all the men. He killed them all except one, all right? He almost wiped them out. That's how bad we hate Edomites, okay? That Hadad fled, and that Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him, to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. And they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt unto Pharaoh king of Egypt, which gave him an house, and appointed him victuals, and gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Tapneus, the queen. And the sister of Tapneus, Tahpenes, bare him Genubath, his son, whom Tahpenes weaned in Pharaoh's house, and Genubath was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab the captain of the host was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to my own country. So he waited for David to die and for Joab to die, and then he brought his funky ass back. Then Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me? Behold, you seek to go to your own country? And he answered, nothing. Howbeit, let me go anywise. And power stirred him up, another adversary, Rezin, of the son of Eliada, which fled from his lord Hadadezer, king of Zobah. And he gathered men unto him, and became captain over a band, when David slew them of Zobah. And they went to Damascus, and dwelt therein, and reigned in Damascus. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did. And he abhorred Israel, and reigned over Syria. And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zerida, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even lifted up his hand against the king. And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Milo and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man, that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahiah, the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and the two were alone in the field. And Ahiah caught the new garment that was on him, and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the power of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. But he shall not have one tribe for my servant David's sake, for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, because that they have forsaken me, and have worshipped Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Shamash, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which was right in my eyes, and keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all that thou soul desireth, and shalt be king over Israel. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, I will walk in my ways, and do what is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David his father did. That I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt, into Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the acts of Solomon, and all that he did, and all his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? And the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David his father. And Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. Now, Rehoboam took him even farther off the track, right? They really start tripping after that. So the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes, the northern kingdom went into deep apostasy after that. And then the southern kingdom, they fell off into being Pharisees. So the kingdom was basically gone at that point. All right. They just sunk deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, until Solomon came back as Yahawashi to die and redeem the northern kingdom back into the body, so that Israel can have 12 tribes again. But he had to go to the cross. He had to pay for his sins and be beaten with the stripes of men. That's what he had to do. The church isn't going to teach you this. All right. The won't he do it Sunday morning? They dumb as dishwater. They don't know what they're talking about. All right. So why did Solomon have to come first? Well, he was setting up the new priesthood. Moses' law, the sons of Aaron, they were all dead. So a better covenant had to be put in place, one that was eternal. And that's what Solomon had to come back as Yahawashi to do. Yahawashi came and he kept the 10 commandments. Instead of keeping the 613 laws one by one, he kept them all by loving the Lord, his power, with all his heart, all his soul, all his mind, all his strength, and he loved his neighbor as himself. This is why he's the Prince of Peace. That's why he said, I came not to destroy men's lives, but to save them. It wasn't Yahweh's job to come down here and be killing and all of that. No, that wasn't his job, and it would never be his job. He's a peace. He's a Prince of Peace. This is why the powers that Yahawashi had, they were non-violent. Think about it. He healed people. right? That's what the priests did. They prayed, they healed, and everybody that follows Yahawashi, they're going to have those powers. The priests that we have here, they're going to be endowed with the powers to heal and to help people. All right, that's what they're going to do. Their job is not to do any violence like that. That's not their job. Okay, not their job. That's why when you read Revelation 14:1, it says they have harps and they have palms in their hands and they're dressed in white linen. That's purity. Our priests are going to be pure following Yahawashi because he's the Prince of Peace. Now, yes, Yahawashi is going to discipline his priests from time to time. That's why he said they shall be broken to shivers, and he's going to rule over them with a rod of iron, because Northern Kingdom are just damn hard-headed. And they were always able to lead their leaders. Once the leader was gone, they fell back into apostasy. So this is why they need an eternal priest that's always going to be there and always keep them on the right path. All right? Let me get a precept. Go to said Hebrews chapter 7 verse 19. For the law made nothing perfect. The law of Moses, all right? The law of Moses made nothing perfect, but the bringing in of a better hope did, by which we draw nigh unto the power. And inasmuch as not without an oath he was made priest. Verse 21. For those priests were made without an oath, but this with an oath by him that said unto him, the Lord swear and will not repent. Thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. By so much was a Mashiach Yahawashi made a surety of a better testament. So now the Northern Kingdom will never be able to go off, because Yahawashi going to always be there to bust their ass. See? The Northern Kingdom are very hard-headed, very rebellious. All right? So, whenever they get out of line, for eternity, he's going to be there to put a boot in their ass. That way the kingdom will never split, see? So the Most High had to nail that down. And he did. And he whipped Yahawashi to the point where Yahawashi never think about going off again. All right? That's why he had to go to the cross. It was a lesson. He said, I ain't going to kill you. All right? Said, I'm going to torture you to the point where you know never to do that again. And never lead my people astray again. Okay? That's what you're going to do. And that's what he did. So when Yahawashi came down here, he said what? The things concerning me have an end. And he did. When Yahawashi died on the cross, what he did was, he learned his lesson, and he also took the power, all right, of the priesthood away from the Pharisees and took it upon himself and died and shed his blood, all right, to receive it, to bring the Northern Kingdom back in that he was responsible for losing when he was King Solomon. That was the mission. And what Yahawashi did, it was complete. Mission accomplished. It'll never be undone. All right? So now, the priesthood has went from Levi to who? To Judah. They have a Judite king who is the high priest over them. See? The Northern Kingdom can never get it right because they were in a position of power which they're not supposed to have. All right? Scripture says in Genesis chapter 49, all right, the scepter shall not depart from Judah. Let me get that real quick. Verse 10, 49 and 10. The scepter shall not depart, Genesis 49 and 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. So, Yahawashi is it. He's the high priest forever. He's the Prince of Peace. All right? Now, that's mission number 1 is complete. The foundation has been laid. All right. So, pray y'all enjoyed this message. I'm cooking up another one right behind it. We're now going to go into mission number 2. All right. Y'all stay put. Barakatah to the Father of Lights. Peace and power to Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to you out there. And peace and power to the throne of King David. I will see y'all in a few. It's your King and Shepherd KD, and I'm out. Shalom.